Ring Magazine recently dropped a bombshell exposing the WBC's secret campaign to undermine TKO, and now insiders reveal there's even more happening behind the scenes. Ariel Helwani believes the emerging generation of fighters will be drawn to the opportunities presented by the new league. He suggested that young fighters will prioritize the new system over the traditional belts, stating that the shift is inevitable. However, Ade strongly disagreed with this perspective. While he acknowledged the appeal of big money and new ventures, he emphasized that the legacy of boxing holds value. According to Ade Oladipo, boxing's long-standing history, which dates back to the 17th century, still carries weight in the minds of many within the sport.
The new kids who are coming in are going to say, oh yeah, there's opportunities here with these guys on this side of the fence. To hell with those old belts. I'm going with them. That's what's going to happen. And I don't understand how anyone can see otherwise.
No, completely disagree. And look, I understand what you're getting at, and a new shiny new toy which sort of promises loads of money and fortunes. I can understand why that is appealing, but again, history means something in this sport. Boxing's been going since the 17th century.
Ariel Helwani further argued that the financial incentives offered by Turki Alalshikh could fundamentally alter the landscape. He pointed out that if fighters are offered double or triple their usual purses, they will prioritize those opportunities over traditional belts. In his view, the historical significance of titles does not resonate with younger fighters. He linked it to preferring modern digital platforms over outdated television, emphasizing that sports naturally evolve over time.
The guy who is paying the biggest purses says, to hell with those belts, come here and I'll pay you double, triple. They're gonna laugh in the faces of those belts. Those belts don't stand a chance. This idea,
maybe
history to kids who are what does that mean? Like, it's like saying to someone, oh yeah, you should dream of being on linear television. You should dream of being on, regular cable TV and not on YouTube because there's history.
In response, Ade acknowledged that times are changing, but insisted that the dream of becoming a world champion still holds importance. He conceded that financial compensation is crucial in a dangerous sport like boxing, but maintained that many fighters still aspire to hold championship titles. He referenced Mike Tyson's past remarks about belts collecting dust, but argued that the desire to be a recognized world champion remains meaningful and will not disappear soon.
Times do change, but the dream of every sports person, or I'd like to think the dream, and you speak to sports people every day, is to become a world champion, or at least a champion in your field. It isn't necessarily about the money. That's not always the grab. And look, ultimately,
for these guys, come on.
No, ultimately, you have to get paid. Don't get me wrong. Look, it's the most dangerous sport in the world. Get paid. But there's still, I think fighters still harbor the dream of becoming a world champion. I still think that means something to fighters. And in today's age, maybe not as much as it once did. Mike Tyson said those belts were only there collecting dust. I can kind of understand how some people have changed their thinking, but I still think people want to become a world champion. I still believe it exists. And look, could it fade off eventually? Yes. But I speak to fighters nearly every day. Obviously, I'm at boxing events every single weekend, and I ask that question. Every fighter dreams of becoming a world champion. It's still something there. It still means a lot. Well, and I think that's not going to fade away anytime soon.
On the other hand, Gareth A. Davies also recently shared his thoughts on Turki Alalshikh's ambitious plans, highlighting the significant role Dana White is set to play. According to Davies, Turki Alalshikh has given a mandate to one of the most powerful figures in MMA, Dana White, who is also one of the biggest promoters in combat sports, to create a streamlined division or league. This new league aims to feature 8 world champions, with the top 20 fighters being assessed and the top 5 competing for a unified belt. While acknowledging the scale of this project, Davies expressed skepticism, stating, "I believe this will just create another set of champions across various weight divisions." He also pointed out the boldness of Alalshikh's statement about crushing other leagues, considering his ongoing collaborations with major promoters like Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, and Oscar De La Hoya, among others. Wade from WADE The Concept broke down the whole situation. On his YouTube channel, he explained that TKO, the parent company behind the UFC and WWE, is partnering with Turki Alalshikh to launch a new boxing entity. While the exact nature of this venture is unclear, they are currently referring to it as TKO Boxing. Wade highlighted the collaboration between Dana White and Turki Alalshikh, noting Dana White's long-standing ambition to overhaul boxing. He described the partnership as a convergence of Dana White's reformative ambitions and Turki Alalshikh's vast financial resources and influence in the boxing world.
Turki Alalshikh and TKO, aka the ownership group that both owns the UFC and the WWE, have taken part in a joint partnership to create a new entity in boxing. I don't know if it's a boxing league, I don't know if it's a promotion, but they don't really have a name for it yet. They're just calling it TKO Boxing at the moment. The man with all the money, the man with all of the relationships right now in boxing in Turki Alalshikh, and the man with the know-how in the UFC world, and a man that said he can clean up boxing, he can fix boxing, he can make it, not to be political, especially here in Canada, great again. And it's pretty freaking interesting to see, if I'm honest, because there's so many topics that can come out of this. Number one, Dana White always said he would get into boxing, and now he's done that with this venture with Turki Alalshikh.
Meanwhile, Ariel Helwani continued to emphasize the financial motivations driving the shift. He argued that fighters would naturally gravitate toward the highest paying opportunities. According to him, the prestige of traditional belts only matters if they offer substantial financial rewards. He cited Canelo Alvarez as an example, portraying him as a pragmatic businessman who prioritizes lucrative opportunities over symbolic titles. In Ariel's view, this mentality reflects a broader trend where financial incentives outweigh the allure of legacy.
The public doesn't care who the IBF champion is. The boxers, the ones coming up, don't care. They're gonna go where the biggest purses are. And I think everyone who is singing this tune about the history of the belts are going to find out very quickly that it wasn't about the belts, it was just about the purses. And if a WBC belt happens to bring you the biggest purse, great. But if these guys are now doing it, give me the ring championship, the TKO belt, I'll be happy with that. That's what they're all going to say. I have no doubt of that. Just look at what Canelo Alvarez.
When asked about the new league, Canelo Alvarez remained confident. He expressed no concern about the shift to a single championship, asserting that if there is only one belt, it belongs to him. Alvarez's remarks reflected his belief in his dominance within the sport and his readiness to adapt to any structural changes. His attitude suggests a blend of confidence and pragmatism, as he focuses on maintaining his status as the top fighter regardless of organizational shifts.
Well, Canelo, I'm sure you heard the big news yesterday. Turki Alalshikh is creating a new boxing league. He promises that there will only be one world champion in each division. Right now, he's also considered a world champion. As someone who has the WBO, WBC, and WBA titles, how do you feel about that?
I feel good because at the moment I have the 4 belts. It's like I just want, if there is just one belt, it's mine too. So I can adapt myself in any way. So I don't mind.
Oscar De La Hoya addressed the tension surrounding the WBC belt during Canelo's face-off with William Skull. He acknowledged that Turki Alalshikh has the authority to shape the event as he sees fit, given his financial backing of the fighters. According to De La Hoya, Turki's preference for promoting the Ring Magazine belt instead of the WBC title reflects his broader agenda for the new boxing structure. Despite the changes, De La Hoya maintained a neutral stance, recognizing Turki's control over the event's presentation.
Turki has his plans. He has his plans, that's it. And he's gonna do what he wants to do. And, you know, I have my plans. Because boxing is the sport I love. And if Turki didn't want the WBC, then that's his event. He paid Canelo, he's paying Skull. The Ring Magazine is, so they can do whatever they want to do. It's their event.
Regarding Turki Alalshikh's collaboration with Dana White, De La Hoya admitted feeling slightly offended by the suggestion that White would lead boxing's future. He pointed out his own decades-long commitment to the sport through Golden Boy Promotions. Despite his reservations, De La Hoya emphasized his dedication to promoting high-quality fights and focusing on his organization's continued success. His comments reflected a mix of pride in his legacy and a determination to stay competitive in the evolving boxing landscape.
I did hear that he passed over the reins of boxing to Dana White. Well, that comment to me, I felt a little offended because I've been in boxing all my life and I've been promoting for 20 some odd years. So what I'm gonna do is stay in my lane and do what I do for Golden Boy and with DAZN and give the fight fans the best fights that can possibly be made, just the way we've been doing for years.
De La Hoya also highlighted the positive aspects of working with Turki Alalshikh and the Riyadh Season Initiative. He expressed appreciation for the increased competition, which he believes benefits the sport overall. However, he reiterated his commitment to developing fighters and elevating them to championship status. According to him, Golden Boy Promotions will continue to play a crucial role in shaping the future of boxing through their proven track record with stars like Canelo Alvarez and Ryan Garcia.
Sprinkling these championship big events, yeah, it's an honor for me to do that. But I have my business that I'm going to take care of as well. And nobody's going to touch me there because we are the best developers in the fight game, and we take our fighters to championship levels, to superstardom, like the way we did with Canelo and Ryan Garcia. So I'm gonna stick in my lane, and I'm gonna work with Turki Alalshikh.
Eddie Hearn remains calm about the growing influence of Dana White and Turki Alalshikh in boxing. According to him, their interest only proves how strong the sport already is. While Dana and Turki argue that boxing is broken, Hearn disagrees. He believes boxing is thriving and has always experienced ups and downs. For him, Turki's involvement has simply amplified the sport's visibility and excitement.
Of the boxing promotional and governing body world, for me, I'm pretty chilled really. I think it's very exciting. I think that any time that someone like Dana White and TKO want to move into the sport, or the sport that you're operating in, it shows you where the sport's at. And I think I disagree with Dana and Turki that boxing's broken. I think actually boxing's in a great place. It's always been in a great place, but it has peaks and troughs. Boxing's always been hot, but His Excellency's come in, shaking it up and made it much hotter.
Adam Catterall, however, sees things differently. From his perspective, boxing may not be broken for promoters like Hearn, but for fans, it's another story. Since Turki Alalshikh entered the scene, fans have witnessed a new model where big fights happen without delays or politics. For Catterall, fans are tired of the usual excuses, and Turki's ability to put money on the table and make fights happen is exactly what boxing needs.
When Eddie Hearn's talking about boxing's not broken, no, it's not broken for him because it's working well for him right now. It's not working well for fans. It does need a rejig. It needs a complete rejig. Since Turki Alalshikh's come into the game, fans have started to get on board with it now, going, hang on a minute, this is what it should have been like all along. We're sick of promoters...
Fans are also criticising this move as well.
Yeah, but we're sick of promoters feeding us all this nonsense as to why fights don't happen. This guy comes along, he satisfies everybody's greed and ego by sticking a lot of dough on the table and makes things happen. That speaks to fans.
Catterall also highlights the pressure on traditional promoters. He points out that they face two choices: either sell their stakes and align with Turki or risk being pushed out. In his view, the aggressive language used by Turki and his team, like claims of crushing other promoters, makes their intentions clear. They aim to dominate boxing, and Catterall believes such disruption is long overdue.
They can either get bought out or get put out of business at the highest level.
Or work under the umbrella.
They're not going to work together. There's no reason.
We don't know that yet, Adam.
I'm going off the UFC model. There is no reason why they are going to merge and work with other promoters. It's just not going to happen.
We don't know.
When you're using aggressive language like we are going to crush, we're going to put promoters on Alcatraz, listen, that's the plan. They want to be the number one. They want to be the premier. I've been saying this for years, that boxing does need this change.
The fuss started when Dana White held a bold stance on boxing's future. He believes the sport is fundamentally broken and needs rebuilding from scratch. According to him, the current structure of multiple promoters and complex negotiations is unsustainable, and White emphasizes that his focus will be on restructuring boxing entirely, with a long-term commitment to major fighters and events.
I think that the sport of boxing is so broken, it needs to be built from the ground up again. And that's what I'm going to focus on doing. He's got some commitments over the next 18 months with a lot of guys and a lot of fights and a lot of different promoters.
For Dana White, the solution lies in replicating the UFC's success. He references USA's Tuesday Night Fights, a platform that showcased emerging talent and turned them into pay-per-view stars. White envisions a similar pathway for boxing, where young fighters get consistent exposure and gradually become major attractions under a unified system.
Yeah, I talk a lot about USA's Tuesday Night Fights. They put on like the best up-and-coming fighters all fought on that show and then became big pay-per-view stars. That's what it's the same thing that happened with the UFC. We started on Spike TV, we built stars, and they became pay-per-view stars. I want to do the same thing with boxing.
Punch Drunk Boxing underscores the controversy surrounding the TKO Boxing League, which Dana White and Turki Alalshikh are building. According to his analysis, this league rejects collaboration with traditional boxing promoters. They mentioned a significant moment during a Canelo Alvarez press conference where Turki reportedly dismissed the WBC belt, calling it green garbage, while promoting the new TKO belt instead.
TKO Boxing League, the one that he's trying to do and create with Dana White. Dana White not necessarily don't want to work with the traditional promoters in the sport of boxing. They want one belt. They trying to even, he threw some shades of the other sanctioning body at the WBC when Canelo Alvarez had the press conference with William Skull in New York Radio City Music Hall, and then the WBC, Canelo Alvarez was asking for the WBC, and Turki Alalshikh said, "No, you leave that green garbage under the stage."
The channel also discusses the growing tension between major promotional companies. According to their insights, rumors of a deal between PBC and Matchroom Boxing signal how seriously promoters are taking Turki's rise. While many promoters are aligning with him due to the financial incentives, Al Haymon remains the only major figure who has not yet yielded to Turki's influence.
If I was the other promoters, man, stick to your company, build your fighters. That's what I like, the recent rumors that PBC is trying to finalize the deal with Dimitri Bivol and David Benavidez with Matchroom Boxing. That's what I like. Eddie Hearn probably called Al Haymon, or Al Haymon called Eddie Hearn. I said, "Yo, y'all serious about that? Huh? Eddie Hearn, look what he doing, Eddie Hearn. Let's take care of our business. Let's take care of our sport, because this man is trying to exit and crush everybody out, bring them all together and stuff like that, then push them away. Take all y'all powers, juice y'all out, and then boom, throw you out the back door." The only one, Al Haymon, who haven't bent the knee, who haven't kissed the ring, who has not hold hands with Turki, because y'all know Turki likes to hold hands like with grown ass men, you feel me?
Punch Drunk Boxing further explores Oscar De La Hoya's perspective. In their view, Oscar understands the stakes and has a history of navigating tough industry shifts. They point out that when Al Haymon took most of Golden Boy's fighters to form PBC, it could have ended the company. However, De La Hoya adapted by relying on stars like Canelo Alvarez and later Ryan Garcia. According to them, while Turki has financial power, Oscar and other promoters still hold the real leverage through their fighter rosters.
In which Golden Boy promotion could have been finished, right? Remember when Al Haymon was dealing with Golden Boy promotion, Al Haymon left, created his PBC, took all the fighters except for Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo Alvarez kept Golden Boy afloat. But then Canelo Alvarez left. But guess what? Then Golden Boy Promotions had Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz, Sudo Ramirez. So let me tell you like this, man. Golden Boy know how to survive. They know how to swim in deep waters. You know what I'm saying? Oscar De La Hoya, cold-hearted. You can see it in his face. You can see how he talks. And even Eddie Hearn, when he's doing other interviews, you can see it in them that they see already what's going on. But the money may be too good. But all money ain't good money. It's time to jump off the wagon, folks. Jump off the wagon. Keep on doing what y'all been doing. And compete with Turki Alalshikh. Because at the end of the day, y'all got the fighters, not Turki Alalshikh.
Oscar De La Hoya also expresses concern over Turki's comments about the WBC. According to him, the WBC carries deep historical value, especially for fighters. He notes that the organization is more than just a belt. It's a legacy built over generations. For De La Hoya, this emotional connection cannot be easily replaced, no matter how much financial backing the TKO League provides.
Well, I'm sure Suleiman is probably thinking, wow, wait, the WBC, my father was past president. The WBC has been around forever. Fighters love the WBC. So Suleiman has to be a little hurt maybe, but I'm not sure exactly what their relationship is or how they're gonna work it out or what they're gonna do. But fighters love fighting for belts. That's the bottom line.
However, things recently got more messy as Ring Magazine dropped a bombshell exposing what they claim is the WBC's secret campaign to undermine TKO. In a bold statement they revealed, a screenshot has leaked suggesting the WBC ran a campaign last week in response to the launch of the TKO boxing promotion. The controversy exploded when podcaster Steve Kim shared the leaked screenshot, adding fuel to the fire with his cryptic message. Well, this is interesting. The screenshot included a message that raised serious questions about the WBC's intentions. We hope you are doing good. We reach out to you because we are running a campaign asking our proud WBC champions to post a photo or video of you wearing your WBC belt and writing, "I love my WBC belt. I'm a proud WBC champion," or anything similar to it. We are proud of you and we thank you in advance for doing so. All the best from all of us. The screenshot also featured a tweet of Carlos Adames proudly holding the WBC belt alongside WBC chairman Mauricio Sulaiman. The caption seemed harmless enough. "I am proud to be WBC champion," but the timing of the message hinted at something more. A coordinated effort to flood social media with pro-WBC sentiments right after the rise of their newest competitor, TKO. Adding to the suspicion, another WBC fighter, Gabriela Fundora, posted a tweet echoing similar sentiments. "WBC is and always will be boxing. No one can ever take that away." Carlos Adames wasn't staying silent after the accusation. In a fiery response, he lashed out at Steve Kim, shutting down the accusations. "This is false. No one has to ask me to feel proud of what I fought and worked hard for. I've been in boxing since I was 10 years old, and this was my dream, and I am proud of myself, just as I would be of another organization if that were the case." Carlos doubled down with a follow-up tweet, making his stance crystal clear. "I was the first to say this, and then the other fighters followed. I defend my merit and my effort, and I am proud to be a world champion and of the WBC." The backlash from boxing fans was swift and divided. Some fans believe the accusations against WBC were baseless. Skepticism about the authenticity of the leaked screenshot also surfaced due to a spelling error in the message. One user mocked the mistake. "Camping. God damn." However, others saw nothing wrong and defended the WBC's right to promote itself in the face of new competition. One fan dismissed the outrage. "Who gives a f? They have a right to promote their company in any way they feel like." Another echoed similar sentiments. "And what's the problem with that?" But not everyone was convinced. Some fans openly criticized the WBC, calling the organization corrupt and accusing chairman Mauricio Sulaiman of dishonesty. Another fan took a direct shot at WBC chairman Mauricio Sulaiman. Interestingly, some fans criticized the WBC for not supporting Adames when he actually needed their backing. One fan sarcastically suggested a more honest slogan for the WBC. They should have said, "I'm proud to be the champion of a company that's not funded by beheadings and torture." And a significant portion of fans expressed their distaste for Turki Alalshikh's new TKO promotion altogether. One user bluntly stated, "Dana and Turkey, let's go Eddie Hearn." Another added, "Are you a mouthpiece for TKO now? This magazine will lose credibility." While the WBC faces backlash, some high-profile fighters are openly embracing Dana White's TKO promotion. One of them is former unified lightweight champion Teofimo Lopez. According to Lopez, he's fully on board with what Dana White is building. Having already trained at the UFC Performance Institute, Lopez expressed his excitement about the new venture. He even mentioned wanting to be a brand ambassador for TKO, showing clear interest in joining forces with Dana White's new boxing project.
There it is. And obviously you get some work in over at the UFCPI. Dana White getting into the world of boxing. Any advice for Dana White? Any thoughts? You think you'd fight under his umbrella one day?
Hey, I'm a true supporter of everything that they're doing right now, and yes, I've been at the UFC Performance Institute. I love it, I enjoy it. I know they got a boxing ring at the Apex, so that's awesome. You know, I think he's already implemented and he's always found interest in the sport of boxing. Him being already in the combat world, he's been influenced into boxing before MMA, and I think that's it's great to see him come back.
Another fighter who seems open to the idea is Ryan Garcia. He welcomed Dana White's involvement in boxing, but raised concerns about fighter pay. According to Garcia, while he supports the move, he hopes the pay structure won't mirror the UFC's model. His comments reflect a growing sentiment among boxers, curiosity about TKO's potential, but a cautious eye on how much fighters will earn under the new banner.
What do you make of Dana White entering the world of boxing and teaming up with Cheek Turkey?
Yeah, I mean, if they pay like the UFC, though, we might not like it. We might not like it, but I'm happy, you know, Dana's getting involved. He's a great dude, and I'm sure they're going to do big things.
Amid these discussions, former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping weighed in on the ongoing debate about fighter pay in boxing versus MMA. According to Bisping, the belief that boxers universally earn more than MMA fighters is a myth. While top names like Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez rake in massive paychecks, many boxers on undercards struggle to make a living. He emphasized that plenty of UFC fighters earn substantial sums, challenging the common perception that MMA fighters are underpaid.
There's a lot of people out there losing their minds going, oh my God, this is terrible for boxing. The UFC fighters don't get paid very much. Boxers make real money.
This is number one.
Don't believe that. A lot of people in the UFC make a tremendous amount of money. And a lot of people in boxing make next to nothing. That's just a sad reality. Yes, of course, you have your outliers, your Floyd Mayweathers, your Tyson Furies, your Canelo Alvarezes. These guys make huge sums of money. But for the most part, a lot of fighters on the undercard, they're making next to nothing.
Bisping also shared his thoughts on why MMA is attracting a younger audience compared to boxing. In his view, boxing is seen as an old-fashioned sport, something for older generations. Meanwhile, MMA, particularly the UFC, appeals to younger fans because of its dynamic nature. Bisping argued that MMA is simply a more exciting sport with more ways to win or lose, which keeps fans engaged. His perspective highlights why many believe TKO could disrupt the boxing world in a major way.
A little bit old-fashioned. It's something that your dad likes or that your granddad likes, but your kids like MMA. They like the UFC because of the energy, because it's new, because it's more exciting. That's just a fact of the matter. I hate to say it, I love boxing, but MMA is more exciting. It's a better sport. There's more ways to win and lose. But the product is better. Now, we're not talking about every MMA fight that you go to is going to be groundbreaking and the production is going to be incredible. No.
Do you think the WBC's campaign is just harmless promotion, or is there something deeper going on? Is this a defensive move against TKO's rise? Drop your thoughts below.